So we're back again, except for this time Olivia's not with me. Olive Oil, she's not with me because she is taking care of grandkids right now. But anyway, this is going to be episode 3, and let's see here. We are right here. We're going to go up Ranch House Road that we covered in other videos, and then we're going to continue on Ranch House Road through here, come up here, and right here where the ranch house is at, I'm going to go ahead and start videoing. And we're going to go around, go all the way this long way. It's called Jack Meadow Loop. So this one's going to be a Jack Meadow Loop video. It comes right here, and over here is going to be a car full of bullet holes. And then we're going to come back this way, and then it's going to, I'm going to stop right here. And apart from showing this video, Olivia's not here today, so I thought I'd take advantage of that and also discuss a little bit about diabetes. The D2 part of this channel is with yours truly. Olive Oil is my wife. D2 is for the part of this trail. Hi, what's your horse? That's Foxtrot? What's that horse's name?
His name is Onyx.
Onyx. Hi, Onyx. Hi, Foxtrot. You guys have a good ride. So here is East Ridge, where we did episode 1 from. And we're just going over here. You can see that house up there, and you can see in the back over there the ranch house. So I'll start filming again at the ranch house. I just wanted to connect. This is the ranch house, and we just came in from that pavement right there. That is the flushable toilets with some drinking water, and then we're going to come out this way. So when we come out this way, we're going to go to Jack Meadow Loop. So about hiking with diabetes, I'd like to start off first by talking a little bit about diabetes itself. Diabetes is, there's diabetes type 1, diabetes type 2, and I'm a type 2 diabetes. That's why the name of the channel is D2 and Olive Oil Hike. And look at this. It's kind of cool. Little old sheds here. And so you have horses, you have mountain bikers, you have joggers, you have hikers, a little bit of everything. There's also a little porta potty out there, but you know, so close. There's the other one. See in there? It's pretty cool. It's very nice. So anyway, I'm gonna go this way. Right here, when we get to that portion right there, straight ahead, and ranch house is over there. I just walk through this dirt road, and right here you can see where it says 3.17 miles, and that's Jack Meadow Loop. So I'll come this way. It comes out through here. I can hear like a beehive up there. It's cool. So diabetes type 2. What that is insulin resistant diabetes. Unlike diabetes type 1, that the pancreas does not make any insulin at all. So it has to do with insulin. And diabetes type 2 is resistant. Insulin is a hormone that's made in our pancreas that transports the glucose or sugar, simple sugar, in monosaccharide. It transports it into our cells, and then insulin also locks the fat in to the fat cells and whatnot. And I can't tell you exactly too much about it, but I know those things are the case by studying my diabetes throughout the years. And so I was diagnosed with diabetes in 2006. And when I found out I had it, I felt so bad. I was all confused. I was slurring my words. I thought I was having a stroke. And so I was taken to the hospital And that's when they found out that I had diabetes. My sugar was very, very high. Before I continue with that, let me just say that this is sage. This is the end of sage, and we will do sage another day. It goes up that way, and it goes around by Stanley Peak, and it comes over by Creek Crossing. On first episode where Creek Crossing ended, and we turn left on East Ridge. Okay, if you go right, that's sage, and it ends up right here. So it's a big, big, big loop. And here's Jack Meadow, right there. Okay, so continue on with diabetes. So I was taken to the hospital and found out I was diabetic. They put me on insulin there just to bring it down, and then I was put on medications later on by my doctor. There's two basic ways of checking blood sugar. One of them is fasting blood sugar. You do it with a glucose monitor, I believe it is. Yeah, it's a little glucose meter. And it checks your fasting blood sugars, or your blood sugars even if you're not fasting. And I do want to say that this is in no way, shape, or form intended to be any kind of medical advice. Okay, this is just my experience with diabetes, and I'll apply it to hiking. So then I went home. I went to the doctor. He put me on medications, and I was very scared, very afraid. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't want that experience to happen again, of getting so high, and I didn't know if I was going to drop down very low. I started reading up on it, studying it, and then after I was doing that, I did lose about 50 pounds in 3 months by doing a lot of exercises and also eating. I became a lacto-ovo vegetarian, which is basically eggs, milk or dairy, and vegetarian. I did it that way. One of the problems that I was having is that I was spiking a lot. And the A1Cs, HbA1c, is that blood sugar check, which means how much blood sugar is in your hemoglobin portion of the blood cell. Blood cells live for about 90 days. And so that's why a lot of doctors, they recommend you take your blood sugar check, your A1C, about every 3 months. And so I was, I got it down to a very good point, 5.6, 5.8, but I was on medication, and then the doctor took me off medication because I was doing so good. As soon as I got off medications, they shot right back up again. They went up as high as 13.8. I've seen them at high as over 500, a lot of 300s on the fasting blood sugars. Not fasting, but through the day. The fasting blood sugars were about 200, 250 or so. Look how beautiful this is, guys. This is another portion of Daley Ranch. Up there is Boulder Loop. So anyway, it got really bad, so the doctor put me back on medications, and after that they were so uncontrolled, and I was just tired of watching what I was eating. I didn't want to do that anymore. So I tried to eat okay, but I wasn't really watching it too much. And the medications weren't cutting it. They weren't doing it, so he had more medications, more medications. So I'm going to fast forward to 2012. 2012 I started cycling again, and I used to cycle for about 10 years prior to that, in the 80s and mid 90s, or early 90s, and it really didn't control it as far as bringing my sugars into control, but it did help me feeling better. My feet weren't burning at night. They weren't getting all blistered up. They weren't drying up so bad. And so I kept doing that. I was doing 100 miles on the bicycle. I was doing 80, 70, 50. And I knew that the fuel that you needed was sugar, so I used to do a lot of sugars. Wow, a diabetic is riding his bicycle, fueling up on sugar. and taking the medications, hoping that that would take care of things. For me, it didn't work. My sugars were all over the place still, and I was riding about 3 times a week. I would go jogging occasionally. I was going to the gym. Now, I'll fast forward to 2015. 2015, I was taking this medication that one of the side effects was that it slowed down the emptying of your stomach. So I was taking that. It was getting nauseous a lot. I didn't really like it. It wasn't really controlling my sugars very well because I just wasn't eating very good. That old saying that you cannot out-train a bad diet, well, medications aren't going to control a bad diet either. So I continued, and I had to do this colonoscopy. When you do a colonoscopy, they check your intestines, your large intestine, and they give you a medication, well, it's a cleanse, to cleanse all the stuff, and then they tell you don't eat after a certain time, and the last part of the cleanse you take in the morning. So I did, and I went to do my colonoscopy, and I told the doctor, hey, I'm taking this medication, and I know that one of the side effects is slow emptying. He said, okay, not a problem, we'll watch it. I also let the anesthesiologist know, and he said, okay, well, I woke up with vomit all over on the side. The sheet that I was on was all full of vomit, just liquid. The back of my head was hurting, was burning. I was coughing, my lungs were burning. So basically I had aspirated. That's when something goes inside your lungs instead of your stomach. And so I aspirated, and the anesthesiologist, he was holding it's called a Yankauer catheter, where it was suctioning out my mouth, and I was coughing. It was a horrific experience, and that's when I said, I've had it. I'm done with it. No more. No more of this. Okay, so I just stopped all medications, and then I started reading about how to do things. I talked to my doctor. My doctor recommended that I do something. It was called Medifast by Octavia, I think it's called, which for me, it was not sustainable. It was a low carbohydrate and low calorie diet. I was feeling very nauseous, very bad. They call it the keto flu. And after about 2 weeks, I was feeling okay. But I did not know that I was on a ketogenic diet. They didn't tell me that. And but it doesn't matter. It was not sustainable. It's a replacement meal, but it did do me some good. The 4th day that I got on a low carb, low calorie, my sugars went way down to a normal way. And then I started to I talked to my doctor about it, and around that time I had to change jobs, so I didn't have that insurance anymore. So I went back to my, that was like 3 or 4 months later, in September of 2018. I started this ketogenic diet in June 16th of 2018. In September, I went to my VA doctor, and he took some baseline medications. And he saw that I was having some effects on the statins for cholesterol, because if you have diabetes, doctors will normally put you on blood pressure medications and also statins for cholesterol. So the doctor said, you're getting some adverse effects from your statins, so we're going to take you off of them. And then I told him, how about my diabetes? And he said, what about diabetes? Your sugars are good. And I said, oh yeah, I got on a ketogenic diet. And I started telling him a story. He pulls out a business card, and he puts down the name of a book by author is Gary Taubes. He's a, let me see, how would you call that? A journalist, reporter, I believe that's how it's called. He also has a degree in physics, So this guy is no dummy. I mean, he recommended a book called Good Calorie, Bad Calorie. And so I started reading it. It's a very big book, and I'll be honest with you, I did not finish the book because it's so large. And the preface tells you a lot. And I was reading chapters into the book, and that book got me interested in other books. So I started reading other things on it. And I started watching YouTube videos as well. I watched a couple of different doctors, Dr. Barry, Dr. Annette Bosworth, Dr. Jason Fung, Dr. Andreas Egelberg. He's a Swedish doctor, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. And Dr. Finney. I just started reading or looking at a lot of YouTube from them and reading some stuff. Dr. Annette Bosworth has they call her Dr. Boz. She has a really cool book called Any Way You Can. And they all talk about the ketogenic diet, and so I got really much into that. Now, I am not promoting the ketogenic diet. It might sound like I am. I'm not. I'm not saying that you should be on it. It's a lot of, because of the events that I went through, I almost died on the table. I just said, you know, I don't care about having all these sweets, and I don't care about having all these other things. I'm going to try to take care of myself. So there's a lot of things that I like that I can't eat anymore. And I do have cheat days, and I have had a little bit more cheat days than I should. Well, I'll elevate my carbohydrates over 100 per day. Sometimes they stay. No, actually, I don't think I've done that too much, but they've gone a little higher than I should. But anyway, olive oil has helped me a lot. She's been really good. She cooks low carb cookies, and she used to cook bread. Now we just buy them on Amazon. And it's really...
2.0 miles in 39 minutes 45 seconds. Lap pace 21 minutes 5 seconds per mile.
Okay. So yeah, 4 more miles to go. Roughly, a little bit over that. And then so I on a ketogenic diet I went from 212 pounds, I'm 5'6", down to 173. But then I climbed back up to about 180, 177, somewhere in there, just because I started laxing off a little bit. So, how does that apply to hiking, which is what I'm doing right now? Let me first say that last night I had a small dinner, and then this morning I had just a hard-boiled egg. I work early, and then at the lunch I only had a salad. And then before I came on this hike after work, oh my, those quails scared me. A bunch of quails came up. Oh, look at that pretty little brown stuff in there in the middle. It's really nice. This is all Jack Meadow. So that way up there is Burn Mountain. It's the highest peak in Daley Ranch. It's about 60 or so feet higher than Stanley Peak, but you can't climb that. There's no trail going up to it that I know of. Anyway, so yeah, the way it applies to hiking is that, being that I don't use glucose, I use a lot of nut butters, almond butters, peanut butter, coconut oil. I will have, I'll take some sandwich with low carb bread. I'll take sandwiches, or a sandwich with cheese and lettuce and ham or roast beef or anything that I like, you know, any kind of cold food that I like, cold cuts. But one of the problems is that I'm still experimenting on how far I can go. Like this hike right now, having not eaten a whole heck of a lot. Today and yesterday I had just a very small meal, but I'm doing okay. I do have some food with me. I do eat Quest bars too. So There is a food also, there's a meal called Next Mile Meals, and they're ketogenic. And as I stated, I'm not promoting, I'm not saying that you should be on a ketogenic diet because, you know, I can't eat French fries. I can't eat a lot of the good stuff that I love to eat. I can't eat spaghetti. I can't eat a lot of things that I really like. And what, am I going to tell you, I recommend you get on a ketogenic diet even if you're not a diabetic? No. You know yourself and what you want to do. And one thing that I do know is that you have to, I believe, my own personal belief is that you have to take control of your own health. And I've kind of screwed up my health throughout the years. I'm now 60, going to be 61 at the end of the year if I make it. And yeah, you got to take care of your own health, because at the end of the day, it's you that does that. So, you know. So anyway, that is something that I've been working with. This year I done the 6-pack of peaks in Southern California along with olive oil, and on one of the peaks, which was a relatively low peak, but it's still very kind of a tough peak, that was Mount Wilson. From Sierra Madre or from Chantry Flats, I've done both of those. And the last one that I did, this year, was from Sierra Madre. It's about a 19-mile hike. No, I think it was 17. I don't remember right now. Up and down. And they have a cafe up there called the Cosmic Cafe. And I thought that I was going to go up there and get a sandwich or something. I was going to eat a little bit more carbs because of a really tough hike. And I had some food, but I didn't have an enormous amount of food, which is a mistake in itself. Well, when we got to the Cosmic Cafe, it was closed. And I'm going like, no. So I just got everything that I had. My peanuts, my peanut butters, my peanut butters. Hi, little rabbit. There you go. Coconut oil is an awesome thing. I was having some knee pain. And about 2 minutes after I ate the coconut oil, the pain went away. And I know that coconut oil has medium chain triglycerides, and those are supposed to bypass the portal vein, as far as I'm concerned, which goes into your liver, and it can go right into your brain, of what I've read. You do your own research, please. This is my understanding of it, but I don't know. And for whatever reason, if it was coincidence or not, I don't know, but the pain went away, but it did come back later on as we were going down the mountain. But yeah, with peanuts and almonds, I had an avocado, Quest bars. I didn't have a sandwich, I remember. And one thing that did happen, when I got to the top, my blood sugar was 73. When I left in the morning, I don't remember what it was. I think it was like 130. And then about 2 hours after we got down, I didn't want to bother with checking my sugar because I was just so hungry and exhausted and fatigued that I went straight to eat something. And fast food, I ordered a protein burger, or one of those low carb burgers. And so about 2 hours after the hike, it was at 79. So I do have a video of me talking at the Cosmic Cafe, but it's in my computer along with a lot of other ones, and I have a software in that computer that I don't know how to use for editing, so I only know how to use the one on my phone. And this gives a shout out to Frozen with Outdoor Adventures. Check out his channel. And I'm so new at this, I don't even know how to put links. I don't know how to put links. I want to learn that. And I mean, this channel is only like 3 weeks old, I think. And I still got a lot to learn. But anyway, he did a video on editing with KinaMaster, and he did an excellent job. And I still haven't learned a lot of it, but good enough that I can at least make videos. And I know that they're not the best, but I want to put them out there anyway. So, okay. So yeah, I was feeling very, very unfocused, and I looked at the video after I videoed myself, and I could tell that I was confused, a little bit confused, not a lot. And I was slurring my words, not a little bit maybe. I felt like it was when my diabetes was worse. So I didn't do, I did okay with that hike. That was a 19-mile hike. I've done, you know, the 6 Pack of Peaks in Cucamonga Peak, Mount San Jacinto, Strawberry Peaks at Peak. And we've done others along the way. They were kind of difficult, and I've never really gone way hypoglycemic. Hypoglycemic being low in sugar, hyperglycemic being high in sugar, and I'm more of a hyperglycemic hiker or diabetic. But with this low carb diet, I seem to have it under control pretty well. I still need to, now before I used to do some backpacking because I used to have 3 12-hour shifts and then be off for 4 days. So I could do some overnighters. And I can't anymore. I can do like 1 overnighter, but that's about it because of work. So I haven't done a lot of multi-day packs in a couple of years, which I want to get back to, but that'll be whenever work can permit. So anyway, that is pretty much all I have to say right now. I can go more in depth into the ketogenic diet and also a low carb diet. I do have a friend who has diabetes, and she's working very closely with her doctor, and that's what I recommend anybody does, is work closely with your doctor. And he did not put her on a ketogenic diet, but it did cut down the carbs to a certain amount. I think they're still over 100, and then there are certain things that she doesn't want her to eat, and it's working out for her very well. So anyway, the hiking portion is what I'm concerned about as far as controlling my sugars on this keto diet, and will I have enough? Will I have enough energy, especially if it's a day after day after day after day type of hiking. Okay, Jack Meadow Loop, the same stretch of it. So if you keep on going on the same stretch, there's nowhere else to go. I mean, there are some little inlets and outlets for like the electric companies to go through, because there are some telephone poles here with electricity, but as far as the trail goes, there is nothing else to go. It just continues in here, and you can no longer see a meadow. It's all, as you guys can see, we're kind of like all in the middle of a bunch of trees. Still got a little ways to go before we see that car. I think where that car is at is where it kind of makes a left-hand turn and starts going back. And this loop just goes on and on and on. You'll know when you're getting close to the end, when you start seeing some houses up there in that area. You'll know you're getting close to the end of this one stretch. So, anyways, there's a little rabbit we just went by. Okay. When you get to the sharper curve here, you get to see that right there. And this year has been so rainy. There's a car in there. It's all full of bullet holes, and before you could see it very clearly because there wasn't so much growth here. That's the car. There's also a fence right there. That is private property. And then it comes around this way. You can see there's a fence right there, private property. And then it starts going the other way. Here's where we came from. And that's where we're going. You can see the house over there. Right now you can't see the house on the right side like I thought you could because it's grown quite a bit. This has been a very rainy year earlier on anyway. It's been a relatively cool year. So I'll go until we get to the next junction and just share where that's at. So as people are coming through here, a lot of times if they've never come here before, they start to wonder, am I going the right way? What's going on here? But if you just stay on that trail and you don't get off of that trail, here is, you can see that we're still doing Jack Creek Meadow. I call it Jack Meadow. Jack Creek Meadow loop. And then as you can see, that one right there, it says, if you can see, it says, that one should be hidden. Yeah, it is hidden. Hidden Springs, which goes up that way. And we'll make another section when it goes Hidden Springs to Engelman Oak to Cougar Ridge, and then from Cougar Ridge it'll go to Boulder Loop. Kind of ties that stuff together. But we're not going to go there right now. And I think that when I'm pretty much done trying to show all these different trails, I'll see if I can somehow connect them to you, for you in a video. Like I said, I don't really think that anybody is going to ever get lost, you know, for survival. Like, oh, one day is lost and I didn't have anything to eat. That's probably not going to happen here in Daley Ranch. But it does get kind of, I've talked to people that got kind of scared because they felt as though they were really lost. Because they would take, you know, another, like if, say for example, if somebody would have taken Hidden Springs up, thinking that they were going to maybe find a closer way or something, that's going to take them on a pretty high climb, get out to Cougar Ridge, and if they don't know how to go from there, they're going to end up just taking it really long. But eventually you'll, you know, as long as you don't go in circles and circles, you know, kind of like that movie Vacation. I think it was called Vacation, something Vacation. I don't remember the name of it. It's really funny. Where they're going around in this turnabout in France or somewhere over there in Europe. And they're just going around in circles and circles and circles, and they're going like, I think we've seen this before. Now, if you find yourself seeing the same thing again, just remember, probably should be making the same turn. But yeah, I'm going to continue here, just like I was on the other side. Those trees in the middle right there are the ones that I was walking to, but on the opposite side. Those over here are more trees, and eventually they'll start going down and you'll see the meadow again. Right ahead, there's that little peak over there, way out there. We got to get on the other side of that. Okay. Mill there that's been there ever since I've been coming here. And we used to have one of those at a house and a ranch that I used to live in as a kid. It's really cool. Anyway, we're continuing still on the same Jack Creek Meadow loop. I just call it Jack Meadow. Hi, little baby rabbit. You're not afraid of me, huh? Because you see humans everywhere. Oh, yeah, you are. Okay. Whoa, steep little thing. Whoa. Okay, here we start seeing the meadow again. So I guess now is probably about as good of a time to speak a little bit about the ketogenic diet. So what I know about it, and I first started looking into it, I stated last year, about a year and a half ago, roughly. So we normally use glucose as a form of energy. And that glucose, if it has oxygen, it'll turn into pyruvate and go into the mitochondria of the cell, which gives us ATP and energy. And I'm not sure if creatine phosphate is made there either. I'm not sure. You guys can look into it. Or I'm sure a lot of people out there know. But I know ATP, it happens there. And I believe that the ketones also, I believe they also enter the mitochondria, but again, I'm not sure about that. So ketones there's three different kinds of ketones. There's the main one is beta hydroxybutyrate, and the other one is acetate, I believe it is. And I'll put the three up. I used to be able to just roll them off the tip of my tongue like nothing, but I haven't really looked too much into it lately. But anyway, they are forms of energy, and you get them from fat. get them from fat. And there are people like the Inuits that live up in Alaska where there really isn't any vegetables, and they live off nothing but fat. I'm not going to get too much into the topic of cholesterol, what it does for you, what it doesn't do for you, or fat, or what happens to your veins with this. That's something that if you have diabetes or you just want to know more about it, you can study it, because you need to be aware, and then you need to make that decision on what you want to do. You know, and if you want to just do what I was doing for many years, go to fast food and whatever food tasted the best, that's fine. Hey, I know one thing, it tastes really good, but you know, I myself can't do that, though I have. But anyway, so it's also a long-lasting form of fuel, and it does not spike my sugars. Now, of course, if you want to lose weight, it is a good weight loss. And one thing that you have to be very careful about, and I highly recommend that you do, whether or not you're on a ketogenic diet, is that you read the ingredients of everything that you buy. Things that are packaged. For example, if you get Splenda, well, I always thought for years, and I used to use it for a very long time as a sugar alternative, I always thought that it was sucralose. I'm like, oh, this is sucralose, it's good. Well, read the ingredients. It says maltodextrin and sucralose. And my understanding is that sucralose is very expensive, so it's only bought by people that make products. It's too expensive to get on a retail. That's my understanding. And that kind of thing. There's Truvia, I believe it is, that uses a sugar alcohol, which is erythritol. I'll write it down. Erythritol. Okay, so I believe it's Truvia that uses erythritol and stevia. They call it Truvia. And my understanding is that erythritol is not really that bad for you. I know I use it, or olive oil uses it a lot for cooking, sweetening things up. She uses several sugar alternatives that seem to be okay. When it comes to sugar, table sugar, if you stop and think about it, they say sugar cane sugar. Well, if you were to open up a sugar cane, you're not going to have sugar just popping out of it. It has to be processed. So all these other ones are processed too. Like Truvia. Truvia is from a Brazilian plant, not Truvia, stevia. It's from a Brazilian plant, I believe it is. And you can actually buy the stevia plant itself, and you can dehydrate it and make your own. Just grind it up and make your own. If you can find it. That's what I use to sweeten like coffee up and things like that. I use stevia. Olive oil normally carries a small little bottle that she puts in her purse, and then when we go eat some breakfast somewhere, we just sweeten it up with that. And so you need to look at what you have, because there's some people that go on a ketogenic diet and they have a lot of difficulty in losing weight, and a lot of times it's because they overeat. And then when you overeat, you're still going to put on the calories. You got to watch the calories. I mean, you don't have to be like a calorie cruncher. And at the beginning of the weight loss with a ketogenic diet is that you're going to lose a lot of water weight. And there's nothing wrong with that. People say, oh, that's just water. Well, too much water is not good for you. Our bodies control blood pressure with water in our bodies. We have aldosterone. We have antidiuretic hormone. We have what's it called? A peptide in our heart, anuretic peptide, I believe it is. And these things control the amount of water that we have in our body, and thus controlling the amount of blood pressure. And that's one way of controlling blood pressure. That's so having too much water is not really good. But of course we don't want to be dehydrated, and in hiking it's not too much of a problem because we're sweating and sweating and sweating, so you want to stay hydrated in hiking as much as possible. And I should speak, on this hike I've already done over 4 miles and I've only taken like maybe 3 drinks of water. Okay, so that olive oil just finished calling me. Now you'll know that you're getting kind of close to the end of this stretch of Jack Creek Meadow loop. You see that rock up there? See that rock up there? You'll know you're getting kind of close. And it looks like a Native American head, the way they, put like on a totem pole, that sort of thing. And there's another one that looks like Darth Vader, and that's on Coyote Run. I'm not sure if I'll go through Coyote Run, maybe I will or not. But that Coyote Run is a trail that goes from East Ridge to Sage. Kind of a shortcut thing. I think I talked about it on episode 1. If one carbohydrate holds about 4 milliliters of fluid. So 4 milliliters is just 1 milliliter under a teaspoon. So if you were to eat 300 carbohydrates, just multiply 300 times 4, and that's how many milliliters you get that your body's holding. So one of the things that happens when you go on a ketogenic diet is that you start urinating a lot, because you're getting rid of the carbohydrates and you start to get rid of a lot of the water that you have. So that is a good thing. And another thing that it has is that we have a hormone that's cholecystokinin, and what that does is that there's a couple of things. I mean, I'm sure it does a lot more than that, but it squeezes the cholecysto, which is another term for the gallbladder, to squeeze bile that it gets from the liver to emulsify the fat. That's one of the things that it does. Another thing that it does is that it sends a signal to the brain suppressing hunger. So a lot of people that do fasts, like intermittent fasting, a lot of times they will go on a low carb diet first so that they won't get hungry, and then they can go longer periods of time without eating, and they'll use the fat of their body. But if you do eat things sugars that you didn't know were in there because they're hidden, it's going to take you out of ketosis, and you're not going to lose the weight, and you're not going to use ketones for energy, and you're going to be getting hungry. Anyway, those are my experiences. And so, oh my God, my goodness, I passed it up. There's that rock over there, but I went too far, so now it doesn't look like the. You gotta get just on the side of it. But anyway, as you can see, once you pass that rock up there on the right-hand side, you know you're getting close to the end of Jack Meadow Loop. As a matter of fact, there's that pit toilet, or that whatever you call it, porta potty. So we're getting to the end of this. I've gone probably about 4.25 miles roughly. So the things, there was also a gentleman, Japanese gentleman, Dr. Oshumi, I believe his name is. In 2016, he won the Nobel Peace Prize for the study of autophagy. And basically what autophagy means is eating, your body eating its own self. And here's the ranch house. Here's where we came in to Jack Creek Meadow Loop. And so here are the little houses that we saw earlier. So this gives you a very good understanding of how to tie that in. Sage was up there, and we will. So this episode 3 talks about Jack Creek Meadow Loop. I knew it was a long loop, and I knew that I could talk about diabetes a little bit. And so yeah, so autophagy and eats your own body, and I think the studies are still going on, and Dr. Annette Bosworth can talk a lot about that, and I believe that Dr. Jason Fung is pretty much an expert on that topic. If you guys want to look into Dr. Jason Fung and look into autophagy, fasting, he's very good at that. He's also very good at the ketogenic diet. Have some, look into it. And I am still practicing, finding out what my body can do and can't do. And so far I've done very long hikes, very steep hikes on a ketogenic diet without that many carbohydrates, that much sugars. I haven't done a lot of cycling. I did do some cycling early this year, and I did about, I think, 27 miles, and I didn't have any sugars for the most part. It was all on a ketogenic diet and my own body fat. I was getting a little tired after the 27th mile, but
5.0 miles in 1 hour 35 minutes 31 seconds. Lap pace 19 minutes 3 seconds per mile.
Okay, so here we are back at the ranch house, and right now that was just 5 miles, and that's from the beginning of Daley Ranch, through Jack Creek Meadow Loop, and back to the ranch house. 5 miles. I hope that this gives you guys a little bit of understanding of this channel, hiking with diabetes, but also olive oil, and how we hike together. And I don't think that I'm going to be doing a lot of checking my blood sugars on the trail. I might, if you guys want that to be done, let me know, and I'll put more emphasis on that. I might just check it and just, put it in the edits. But yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. So okay, I'm going to now I'm on Ranch House Road, as you guys can see. Right there it starts. It's Ranch House. Okay, there's a guy with his dog jogging. And I'll turn this off and put it back on again just before I end.